Can you improve the legendary coffee dripper like Hario V60? In this video we'll look at Hario's new coffee brewer called W60. It was designed in collaboration with the world Barista champion Licata, and it offers 3 ways to brew coffee. Is it a successor of a legend or just another coffee brewer nobody really needs? Okay guys, before we break down the W60 dripper characteristics and go over 3 ways of brewing coffee with it, let's make a short overview of an iconic V60. The dripper has a V shape with 60 degrees angle. The V shape was created so the hot water can flow through the higher bed of coffee than in flat bottom drippers and extract more aromatic compounds. It has circular ribs that help to prevent paper filter from sticking to the walls and blocking the extraction. And the last is a single opening on the bottom which forces all the liquid to go in one exit, so we can control the speed of brewing and extraction by pouring different amount of water with different speed. So let's have a look at W60. Already by the first sight you can spot that the shape of it is different. Does it remind you of something? It was designed to look like a teacup. It's practical design that will allow a mesh to sit on top of the dripper. W60 is definitely bigger and heavier than V60, and when we look inside, it has deeper ribs. This should create more space between the paper filter and the dripper. W60 is designed to be a versatile coffee brewer, offering up to 3 different ways to brew coffee. Brewing with paper filter only, brewing with a mesh, and combining both methods. So let's try all 3 and see what they can offer and how they taste compared to our regular V60 technique. So now we're gonna brew W60 using only paper filter. So today for all the brewing techniques we will use the same recipe. We are using 19 grams of coffee for 300 grams of water. So we will divide it in 4 pours. W60 with paper filter is quite similar to V60, to be honest. I think the acidity is slightly higher in this cup, and also mouthfeel is a bit different. It's more like solid. The body is more juicy and it's a little bit more pronounced, I would say. But otherwise, it's super similar to V60.
Okay, before Tomo try and explain the second method of brewing with W60, I wanted to show you the new issue of Standart magazine that we just received. It's issue 28, it's yellow, and we are glad that Standart sponsored this video for you. This issue comes with Panamanian coffee roasted by Piha in Bordeaux, France. What makes this coffee interesting is that it's decaf. Yet it's high quality coffee with tasting notes like cinnamon, blueberry or mango. Our favorite reads from this issue are an essay from legendary El Salvadorian specialty coffee producer Ida Battle, feature called Seed of Sustainability, that highlights less discussed problem of the coffee seed sector, and a fun photo essay showing group of baristas from Tbilisi before and after their shift. Okay, it's time to take another sip, list through the mag, and remind you that beside the beautiful print magazine, Standart is building a platform where a community of like-minded people can meet and share ideas. It's a new perk for all subscribers, so if you are not one of them yet, you should go to standartmag.com/ECT and grab a yearly subscription. Okay, now back to brewing with W60.
W60 with the mesh filter. And now we have 2 differences at once. First is the shape of a dripper. Because it's flat bottom dripper, we will have a wider bed and extract different flavors than from a V-cone. Also, we are not using any paper filter, but this mesh has a very soft plastic mesh which will probably let some coffee oils and sediment into our coffee. Licata recommends a slightly finer grind when brewing with the mesh, but with this coffee I'm using, I actually prefer the same grind setting than we used before to have a bit more juiciness and better balance in the cup. Okay guys, so we are tasting something totally different. The body is totally different and it's grainy on your tongue, so it's a little bit like muddy, grainy. It's much fuller, a little bit oily actually. I'm surprised that acidity is still there, the flavor profile is still there, although more chocolatey. To me it feels a little bit dirty. To me it feels that the coffee is not clean, but that's of course because there is missing paper filter. But I would say it's a bit cleaner than French press. W60 with the mesh and paper filter combined. The brewing in the last method looks just like before when we used only a mesh. But after we finish brewing and pour all the water, take the mesh away, you will see all the sediment that's left in the paper filter that we had in the cup before. This sediment is so soft and there is so much microfines that it actually clogs the paper walls, and because of this the extraction stops and it's around 1 minute longer. We will see soon how it will influence the flavor of the coffee. It's definitely interesting because it's a little bit different than V60 and W60, so it's a little bit sweeter but also like less intense. The body is a little bit weaker, so I would say it's lower acidity, a little bit lower body. There is not such an intensity. For me this is a little bit, it tastes like a weaker coffee. So what do I think of a W60 after all? I believe that innovating something that works so well is a tough challenge. W60 could be interesting for two types of people. New people in specialty coffee who are getting their first brewer because brewing with flat bottom is easier to control. Then they can progress, experiment, even with the same brewer but different filter combinations. Another group is the gadget enthusiasts who simply want to try anything fresh and new. For true V60 fans, it might be a little disappointing. W60 is not an improved V60. It's a different brewer that either produces more dust if brewed with the mesh filter, or takes longer to brew if you are, after a cleaner cup, to pay at least 15 euros extra if compared to ceramic V60. I'm curious if W60 will find its place on the ever so competitive market. Thanks for being with us, dear friends. Let us know your thoughts on W60 or other new coffee drippers on the market. And most importantly, enjoy your coffee. Bye!